Wow, I keep thinking you have a Polish name. Hello. Hello, you're white. You should fix that. You should never be white. Being white is bad. It's racist. Somehow. Yeah. What? What's wrong? What's wrong with the music? Good. Then you should subscribe. What? Oh yeah, let's keep it forever. That's fake. I'm fake that you think that I am. Okay. Shall we do something to start it off? I will let the audience decide. Would you like me to play a game a bit at the start? Or would you like me to go straight into the meat and potatoes? Meat and potatoes. Game? Yeah, game. Let's game. The reality is so grim. We will have time for sad news, death, genocide, all the things that this channel has become known for, you know? Oh, I've got great news. I've got great news for all the 4 people watching. Lonerbox has been actually researching the Holodomor lately in preparation to debate me. Hmm? Hmm? Gonna have a big debate. Unlike Yankee Tanky, Lonerbox does not run from debates. So you will debate me. Unlike Yankee Tanky, who decided to, I don't know, not show. No show Yankee Tanky. What game shall we play today? I've got great news as well. I've got additional great news. My best friend is going to lend me the PS5 again, which means that I will be playing Final Fantasy Rebirth on stream. Isn't that grand? Isn't that grand? Thank you, Cheshlik, for the tier 2. Could have been a tier 1, but you chose to. You decided that I was worth more than just 1, but 2. Which is appreciated as always. Hmm? Look, I do this for you. I moisturize my lips. Just for you. Because you subscribed. I do this for you. I do this for honor. This is... pomegranate. Carmex. Moisturize lip balm. Made in USA. A USA moisturizer for the lips. Are you excited for this? Are you excited for the moisturizer? Trans whistleblower. Mute tab. Moisturized and thriving. Let's go get this bread. True. My RAM is so high. I don't know why. I have to turn off some videos. I'm turning this off. I have to make it less. Jesus. I have to leave this on. This is off. This is on.
Дійсно, case law
Oh. This is a good one. I'm leaving it on. This is a bad one. I'm turning it off.
Mam dla ciebie zagadkę.
Nope. Sorry, I have to turn some things on for the game not to crash my PC. Unfortunately. I can turn this off.
Einstein would have called the philosopher's
Uh-oh. Maybe I should just turn off the close all tabs. I'll just have to restart the session when I want to read the books again. Oh, I've turned things off and now my computer uses more RAM instead of less. That is so weird. That is so weird.
I wanted to talk about a big
I've turned things off and Sri Lanka. Tamil. How many tabs do I have open? Hello, Vodka. I have too many tabs from months ago that I never closed. Oh, I leave this. I leave this definitely. I can turn this off. This guy's muted. Oh, I leave this on. This one I leave. Damn. It is the way of life to have too many tabs open. Okay, let's me see. I just hope the PC won't die. Oh. We might as well watch this for warm-up, I guess.
the
A leftist confronts destiny on the Canvas Owens thing. Ugh, damn. Okay, let me put this here. And put on our favorite game. That I will sincerely hope will not crash the PC. Because if it will, I will have to restart the stream. And that will be painful. For me to have to do. I don't think we need the in-game music.
Have to get a caretaker in here to help you with the conversation?
Are you Candace's bravest warrior?
Are you Candace's most retarded offense?
What?
No, there's probably more retarded ones.
Oh my god.
What's the equivalent to URI level college that you'd recommend going to? for
Bro, it's
journalism in
journalism.
Connecticut?
Nobody cares. It's journalism.
Nobody cares
Go to a
what
school.
degree you
Yeah,
have
you'll be
whatsoever. Are
okay.
you retarded?
What? Yes, you'll be. Not every single
don't think
degree
going to a better
requires
school
you to
will get
go
you
to the
paid
most
more,
prestigious
really.
school in the world. This is the. Yep. My logical leap of you were lying about this particular thing wasn't just built off that one thing. It was the totality of facts make it so that
Damn.
her story is either impossible, she's lying about a particular thing, or it's so non-representative that she should never cite her personal experience in regards to college. If you go to school and you're
How bizarre. This whole thing is so surreal. Starting with a leftist going in to fight for Candace Owens. That is so surreal to me.
family has a low gross income, you fill out the FAFSA, and the FAFSA is going to award you a ton of federal aid, assuming that you don't actually have the gross income from your parents.
Well, apparently not. Apparently it does not award you tons and tons of money. So,
Actually go to school. So if your parents are super poor, I don't know why you had to pay full out-of-state tuition to go to a university.
I did. Do you think? What do you mean? Did I lie?
I don't know how if your parents are poor, if they have a low
Listen,
gross income,
here-
how do you not qualify for the FAFSA?
Okay, well, all I can say to you is that I had to pay 35, almost. My school cost more, and by the end of it, and I'm also including because then I defaulted on my student loans and I had to pay it back. So now I had to pay back the bank for not being able to pay them on time.
Something doesn't match up here.
Okay, well, I'm telling you the truth, so I don't know what to say.
Did you fill out a FAFSA?
Yeah, well, I also didn't have parents that could help me fill it out. I was a first-generation college student. My dad...
You didn't have the same school counselor you told these people to ignore? You didn't talk to one of them and said, hey, can you help me
I don't
fill
know
out?
like, if you're trying to shame me for not
I'm
doing
not trying
things
to
right,
shame you.
but,
I'm just saying the background
I
doesn't
don't
make any
get it.
sense. I'm not shaming anything.
I'm just like, I don't get your point here. Like, I'm telling you the truth. I have no reason to lie about
My
this.
point is, you complained
asked
about having
me, are you lying
$100,000
about
in
being
debt. You told these
poor?
people not to talk to counselors, and you said that your family was
because I
poor, so you went to
lived
school for
it. I'm
journalism on
telling
an
you.
out-of-state tuition. You didn't fill out a FAFSA for any student aid. There's a ton of money there.
I'm just saying, like, what is your point in saying, am I lying about it? Like,
Because
what is,
I don't
like,
understand how you came from a poor family and didn't fill out a FAFSA and get a ton of student aid.
I did fill out FAFSA.
And they didn't give you anything?
I maybe got in terms of I remember getting a Pell Grant that was like.
why is this? Where's there a recap of the thing that we already know? Where's the leftist trying to? What's happening? Damn. What is going on here?
Like $8,000.
Yo, what's up? Can you hear me?
Okay.
Hi.
There you
Okay.
go.
What's
Hi.
up?
Yeah, I think the question you asked Candace Owens that kind of led into that whole college section starts you off on like a really crazy ass footing because it's just so obviously silly. If your family is poor, why would you have to take out loans to go to school?
Yes,
see
this
why I
was
would
in the
think this silly?
context of her saying that her family was unbelievably poor, that she had multiple siblings, and that she had done pretty well in school. And then she says that because my family is poor, we had to take out, I think she said she had did she say $150,000 in debt in my conversation? And that didn't make sense to me why a poor black woman that does decent in school, I don't understand if you're poor. I don't understand here why you would have to take out loans to go to school.
You would take out loans to go to school because you don't have a lot of money. You said the FAFSA, right, is the way you could get out of that. It gives you a ton of federal aid, but the federal aid it gives you is subsidized loans.
It's not just
It's actually
subsidized loans. The
It's
federal
not just,
aid
but it's a majority of that, isn't it?
well, a lot of it will be Pell Grants. A lot of it could also be subsidized loans as well. There's also a
Didn't
lot of
ask you what
state
of it
aid.
was. Come on.
What?
Didn't ask you what a lot of it was. I asked you the majority of the loans they give out are not going to be in Pell Grants, right?
Well, it depends on the type of school you go to. If you go out of state, probably not. If you go in state, possibly, depending on the tuition. Yeah.
I'm asking you, when you fill out FAFSA, right? When you fill out that form, and
I don't know
student
much
aid
about
gives you,
this.
and student aid gives you money. The
I don't
majority of the
really
money they
have-
give out to people, do you think that's coming from Pell Grants, or is it
The
coming
majority of the money given out is, in totality, is probably going to be subsidized
I
loan.
cannot say that I know much about the grant system for people from poor households needing money for, you know. Damn. Oh, gosh. Oh, what is this? Wait, hold on. Where am I? What? How? What the hell? Where is this? Wait, what is this place? What? How did I miss this place? What? Why am I here? That is so wild. How did I get in here? And there's advanced armor spheres here. That is so wild.
Yeah, the vast majority of it. So filling out FAFSA to get like a free ride to college is just going to give you a loan, right? That's what FAFSA is going to do. Right?
That's
You can-
not
but
the
you can
only
opt out
thing.
to the
That's
loan
not
just
the
with
only.
Pell
Hold on.
Grant.
What is the point you're trying to make here? Are you trying to argue?
That you are saying something crazy by saying that poor people taking out loans to go to school is strange.
If the central point was that she didn't seem to grasp the question at all. That was the confusing part of the question for her. Is if somebody
The
says,
confusing
if
part of
somebody
the
says,
question is the implication.
no,
What?
no. The implication is only.
I don't grasp it either. Why would
Because
you,
you're
why
probably
would
from a
you-
rich
why would your
family. That's
be
fine.
poor?
I understand.
Oh, you're dead wrong, dog. Wrong one for that one.
That's fine.
My if you want to play the whose family is poorer game, you're playing it with the wrong one.
Okay, that's fine. But typically, if you fill out a FAFSA, especially if you do decently on tests, especially if you're like minority status or whatever, you should probably be going to school, if not for free, for very, 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 very low cost of attendance. You should be getting
No,
a
if you
fuck
fill
ton
out
of
the
aid there.
FAFSA, the maximum you could possibly get in terms of Pell Grants from filling out the FAFSA will not be even close to encompassing even half of your tuition.
Pell Grants
let alone
aren't
the overall
even-
cost of going to college.
Hold on. First of all, Pell Grants aren't the only thing that you get for aid.
Okay, we got someone that has insider info. My sister works in the scholarship office at her college, and she has to beg and plead and hound students to join X program or write an essay for X grant so they can get money. 95% of them don't. So, do grants actually cover as much as Destiny claims, or no? No, they don't. It is so. I don't know. I think I saw President Sunday cover the thing, and that is a weird thing to ask. I will say as much. That is a pretty bizarre thing to ask. Does Destiny even know how these grants work? Did Destiny apply for a grant while we're at it?
I'm pretty sure every single state in the United States
loans from AIDS. Yeah.
No. I'm pretty sure every single state has tuition types of grants, like literally free money, that are built into all of these different programs. Like in California, there's a ton of programs that are available. In the particular states that she lived in, people email me stuff that there's a ton of aid.
In Rhode Island, if you're super, super poor and you're in Rhode Island and you fill out, or you're outside of Rhode Island going to a school in it, and you fill out the FAFSA, right? You fill it all out, fill it out properly, and you get money from that. How do you think that if you're just sufficiently poor, that they're going to give from FAFSA alone, you're going to be able to pay for more than 50% of your college, not including the loan portion? From just the non-loan stuff that FAFSA will give you.
Are you talking about cost of attendance or tuition?
I'm talking about cost of tuition overall, but if we want to talk about just tuition, we can, right?
I don't know what cost of tuition overall means. I'm asking you, are you talking about cost of attendance, or are you talking about just tuition?
I just said cost of... I just told you what I'm talking about.
You said cost of tuition overall. I don't know what cost of tuition... Yeah. I'm not interrupting, but you said cost of tuition overall. So I'm just curious.
You're not understanding because you're interrupting, right? What I'm telling you is that either of those, either overall cost of going to college, including your room and board, including both the room and board that you pay for yourself when you're paying for your own housing and food, or in paying for things like transportation, you can do that. Or we can just look at purely the tuition cost, and you still won't be able to get more than half of it through things that FAFSA gives you as free money. Like, did you fill out the FAFSA?
I actually did. Okay, so
you actually did fill out the FAFSA.
In Florida, your in-state tuition is $6,360. So I'm looking up from 2024 to 2025. The maximum Pell Grant award is $7,400. This exceeds the total cost of in-state tuition. So can you explain what you mean when you say you couldn't even cover up?
Hold on. Why did he end the topic there? He asked Destiny, "Did you fill out the FAFSA or whatever it's called?" And he said, "I actually did fill out a FAFSA or whatever it's called." So I guess my next question would be, so how much did you get? Did you get most of your thing covered, right? Isn't that what you would normally ask, all things considered? If you wanted to move the conversation sort of forward? No? Wouldn't that make sense? Scholarship offices get scholarship or grants, which is really just pocket change, like 500 or however much is being advertised that the student can go to use for themselves or FAFSA. Like I would sort of drill on this and ask, how much did you get? What did you apply for specifically to get that much, etc.? No? Is it that a good... Otherwise, why even ask if he applied for it? Why even ask that question if you're not gonna follow up on it? It makes no sense. Normally, if you ask a question, you follow up the trail that you set up the thing that you're trying to establish with your thing.
Half of that.
The total cost of in-state, she wouldn't be doing in-state. She's from Connecticut.
Okay,
And I don't even think she's eligible for the
Hold on, wait.
the
You've jumped to
NERSP
a
either because she's journalism, right?
you jumped to a different. You've jumped to a different thing. You
A different thing. No, I didn't jump to a different thing. I just addressed the point directly, which is you think that for some reason you think that for some reason you're gonna get like free enough free money out of FAFSA to pay for even half of your tuition, and you're just dead wrong.
Yeah, and I'm showing you that, first of all, it's like 80% of kids go to in-state schools. You're not typically going to an out-of-state school as a poor person. And when I look at the cost of tuition for most schools, I'm pretty sure, I think the Pell Grant will cover, I don't know if it's most states, but it'll cover almost all the tuition, or all the tuition, I think in almost every state.
No, I have no idea where the fuck you get that from. But dog, in the case of URI, even for in-state, you're not covering all the tuition. And she's not getting in-state. So I have no idea why you brought up in-state. It's irrelevant.
Well, because we wouldn't
not-
typically,
she's
because we
not
wouldn't
gonna
be
get
typically
in-state for URI.
talking about, we wouldn't be talking about in-state. I'm sorry, we typically wouldn't be talking about out-of-state tuition when we're talking about like students with huge financial needs or whatever.
guess, yeah.
Because out-of-state is
That's insane.
It's less than
in terms of
less than
why-
20% of students
I
even
guess
do
it
out-of-state
depends.
tuition or out-of-state
less than
schools.
20% of students even do out-of-state schooling. If you're in New England, that's a lot more common in particular. If you're in New England, it's way, way higher. Because
Pell Grant does not do that. What does it do? I have no idea what it does. I cannot even comment. So how many people study out of state? I also have no clue about that. Do most people study in their home states? Do people move states to study? I mean, it depends on the university, probably, and the faculty. I don't think every single state has a university with the faculty that you want, right? Or do they? I have no clue. I am uneducated when it comes to US higher education, I guess. Because I don't have the answer to these basic facts of life. Is it typical for people to study in state, in their home state, or out of their home state? Do all states sort of provide a university that has all the faculties that people usually wanna pursue? Nobody in the chat knows? Well, then let's continue.
because of the fact that New England has things like the NERSP, I guess it was tuition break now in New England, right?
Wait, if you've got the NERSP,
Yeah, what do you
that
say?
allows you to attend another
She
school.
doesn't have the NERSP.
She what?
She doesn't. She doesn't. I'm telling
know
you. in
she
New England, it's
doesn't.
very a journalist wouldn't.
I understand that, but
I'm not sure you do. I'm glad you do now.
what
But
are
when
you,
you ask a
what are you
question, like,
talking
if you're-
about? Hold on, you're
None
just
of this
scared
is
to be
confusing.
pedantic.
Highly
Because you're retarded.
How am I
understand.
being pedantic? You just said a
What it-
stupid fucking. You said a stupid thing, and now you're trying to run away from it because you know damn well it's dumb. You asked if your family is poor, why would you have to take out loans to go to school? If you fill out the FAFSA, you're taking out loans in 90% of cases.
What do you
90
think
plus.
what do you think the overall point was when I wait, hold on.
The overall point when you asked that question was that you think that it's strange for poor people to take out loans to go to school. You think that's abnormal.
Okay, wait, hold on.
Don't you?
I'm sorry, wait, I wasn't here. Okay. What do you think my overall point was?
That's the same thing I just. Holy
Why would you
shit,
keep
what's wrong?
talking?
with you?
I just said I stepped
I
away
said
for a
your
second. You're not
point-
even listening to what I'm saying. Yeah. No, I'm here.
Okay,
go
look,
ahead.
I heard what you said. You stepped away. I'm saying, what the f- is wrong with you? You're like mid-conversation walking away. Do you have ADHD or something?
I had a phone
If your
call.
family is poor, why would you have to take out loans to go to school? You asked that question because, like you
Okay,
said,
that's a bit weird. That's a bit weird on the colors part, you know? Like you cannot control having a sudden phone call. You're just gonna take it. It's pretty, I don't know. I'm gonna be honest. It is pretty rude to just. No? Wait, what is this monster? I've never seen it before. I think. Or have I seen it? Like it's pretty rude to be like, oh, do you have ADHD? Because you took a phone call? Like, come on. That's a bit uncalled for, in my opinion. It's like, whatever. I don't remember this monster. I love when monsters in fight and do the fighting for me.
Said you think it's strange for poor people to take out loans to go to school. You think it's abnormal. I'm asking you, do you actually think that's abnormal?
abnormal.
Do you think most poor people don't take out loans to go to school?
What do you? Hold on. I'm trying to see if you. I don't know. I can't tell if you have.
Hold on. It
autism
doesn't answer
or-
my question. Just answer it. You're the one being autistic.
No.
You just walked
In
away
the course of that
mid-conversation.
conversation, what am I asking when I say that?
You're asking if your family is poor, why would you have to take out loans to go to school? And the implication is that it's strange for poor people to take out loans to go to school. What are you doing?
Okay. If that's what you think it is, you just didn't follow the conversation. I don't know what else to say to you.
What,
do you
what,
think
what
that
was it
her?
really? What did you really mean?
The implication is that it doesn't make sense that she would have the level of debt that she did, given the fact that she came.
I don't know. It depends on the phone call, no? Like, what if someone's calling you to say, oh my gosh, I just had an accident and I landed in a hospital. Would you be like, oh no, I'm not gonna take this call. That might be urgent because it's rude in the middle of I don't know. I guess it depends. I guess it depends. I think it's pretty weird to see that someone visibly is taking a call and just keep talking about it. He's weirdly aggressive for no reason, in my opinion. You know? And I'm not a very aggressive person, as you've probably noticed.
Came from a poor family and should be able to qualify for grants of student aid to subsidize a lot of the cost of education there.
A lot of the cost or most of the cost?
I don't know what her exact financial status was, and I don't know what every single grant that could be offered by Rhode Island is. So I'd have to go and research that particular institution to find out. But I would
Why
be,
are you jumping to the conclusion she's lying about it if you have no fucking clue?
because her
You're just
story
completely-
doesn't make sense. The idea that a person from a poor family would do an out-of-state school at max tuition for a degree that doesn't pay much is not conceivable to me. Poor people don't generally
It's
make
not
those
conceivable
decisions.
to you that a poor person could go to college for a dumb degree? Really?
what I
That's
just said?
inconceivable?
Is that what I just said?
Yes. Did you hear what you just said?
I said it doesn't make sense to me that a poor person would go to an out-of-state school for a dumb degree.
Let's see. Example, grant is 7K and FAFSA is 9K. You go to a college with a tuition that costs 2K per semester. Then Pell Grant covers the tuition, and after it's covered, FAFSA refunds you the money not used. That continues until your Pell Grant is finished. Then FAFSA takes over to cover tuition primarily. Okay.
And not qualify for any financial aid.
I guess it depends on the school.
When did we
right?
say she doesn't qualify for any financial aid? Where did that come from?
Well, because initially when I was asking her about filling out the FAFSA and everything, she was like, FAFSA, I don't know what that is. And then
No,
she said
she wasn't.
She literally said, I didn't have parents to help me fill it out.
Yeah, she didn't say she doesn't know what it is. In fact, right after she said that, she said she did fill out the FAFSA.
Yes,
In
she
fact,
did.
got
She
the-
changed
she
it
got the
about-
dollar amount pretty close.
She
She said she
changed-
got about $8,000 from it, which seems pretty accurate to me, given that when I fill out the FAFSA, that's about how much I got from the Pell Grant.
That wasn't accurate to her time period at all, so I don't know why you're
It
saying
was
that.
pretty accurate to her time period. I have no idea what you think that.
I literally wrote a whole Substack analyzing like the
I
maximum
saw your
Pell
whole
Grant.
Substack. It's trash and it's dumb as fuck. Your argument there is pulling from what you assumed that she would get the maximum possible Pell Grant if she's poor. If you get the Pell Grant at all, according to studentaid.gov, they're trying specifically to target poor people. If you're getting it at all. If your family's making below $50,000 a year, given that she got a $35K in a settlement, which is taxable income, it's easy their family could have made that amount. Or like right after she got out of high school, absolutely her family could have made more than $50K a year and been like very, very scarcely eligible for the Pell Grant at all. And in the case of the Pell Grant now, it's even larger than it was at the time. So I have no idea why you bring that up as an example.
Interesting.
In case of the Pell Grant now, it's larger than it, I don't even know what point you're trying to make.
What part of that was confusing to you? Are you just completely lost?
Do
I have to get a caretaker
Sorta.
in here to help you through the conversation?
Jesus.
Are you
Damn.
Candace's bravest warrior?
Are you Candace's most retarded offense?
No, there's probably more retarded ones.
There probably are. That's fair. I don't know. Do you? If there's no more response you have for me, I can't tell if you're like talking to your audience or something. But you said some crazy stuff that I'm also kind of interested about.
No, so the issue is that it doesn't make sense.
Okay, you got a response now. Good.
Yeah, it doesn't make sense that there are too many different things here that don't that can't all be mutually true. So it doesn't make sense that your family is so poor that you're talking about living in cockroach-infested apartments, okay? But then you're also choosing to go to college out of state, okay, for a degree that doesn't pay much. Now, that's possible. It would be really stupid, which would make her
Going
story...
to URI out of
me-
state is
let me-
a pretty good decision. It's a pretty good financial decision. She's probably making more money back, even if she had took out 100K in loans. This is the point that I probably would have brought up, and hopefully in the future you'll point this out. 100K in loans, you're still going to be making a net positive if it's the case that you go to college. So it's still a smart. It's still an overall at least like.
Why
a net
do you
positive
have to
decision
go
because
to
it's
an
that opportunity
out-of-state
cost something.
school?
URI is one of the best schools in the country. What are you talking about?
You don't have to go to the best school of the country if
If you
don't
want to
have...
make a lot of money in journalism, you probably should.
No, that's not how that works, okay?
That's kind of how
So-
that works. If you go to better schools, you end up making more money, which is why
That's-
it's okay to pay more for those.
That's not always true, okay? Number one,
Do you think I'm saying it's always true or it's just generally true?
you just don't...
Okay.
You just don't have the background, okay? The poverty tourism is cute, okay?
The
But,
poverty tourism, dog. One of it. Look,
That
look,
when you-
saying
when
you don't
you-
have the background
when
when you
you-
dropped out of college in
when
your first
you-
fucking year or something. I'm not sure that you don't have the background as an argument you can make here.
when you don't know me or Candace's college background, which is cute.
Oh, really? What's your college background? Did you
poor-
finish?
I don't think a poor person.
Uh-oh.
Okay, no, but neither did Candace, so apparently it doesn't matter.
Neither did Candace. Perfect. So
Yes,
saying
that's what I
you
just
don't
said.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh. The background. Uh-oh. Oh no. Destiny and his background of college. Damn.
know enough about college or something, so you don't have
poor
the background to
I
know
don't
enough about this.
I
It's
don't
fucking
think a
insane.
poor person is saying I need to go to the absolute most expensive best school that I can for journalism to make the highest amount of money I can. I think that generally it's going to
If
be
you have
what's
a
the
passion for
most
journalism, she's going to be going for journalism not because it maximizes her income, but because that's a fulfilling career path she wants to go
well,
on.
if it's a
And if you
fulfilling
want a
career
fulfilling
path, then you can
career
just do
path,
the in-state
pay a lot
tuition. Then you can
for
just do
it.
the in-state.
Why? How could she possibly do the in-state tuition for URI?
She would go to journalism in her own state.
What's the equivalent to URI level college that you would recommend going to? For
Bro,
journalism
it's
in
journalism.
Connecticut?
Nobody cares. It's journalism.
Nobody
Go
cares
to a
what
school.
degree you
Yeah,
have
you'll be
whatsoever. Are
okay.
you retarded?
What? Yes, you'll be. Not every single
don't think that
degree
going to a better
requires
school
you to
will
go
get
to the
you paid
most
more,
prestigious
really.
school in the world. This is the richest, whitest comment I've ever heard in my life. Like,
retarded.
oh God, I can't. If I don't go
Dog,
to a
you
UCLA, if I don't go to
way
fucking
richer than mine.
Berkeley,
You-
if I don't
everything
go to
you're
fucking,
saying
you're
is
right.
totally
No.
disconnected from what any poor person would ever have to deal with. It's fucking crazy that you're pulling this out on me, dog. If you say you were married at the time, if you were married at the time that you went into school, dog, then you should have been able to apply and get the maximum Pell Grant. Why didn't you?
Why? I did get a ton in aid. What do you mean?
Did you get the maximum Pell Grant?
I think so. Or if I didn't get the max, I got close to
You think
it.
So
I don't
You're not
remember.
sure?
It was 20 years ago. I'm 35.
Wow,
I'm not
really?
17
Not
like you.
remembering in the moment is not condemnable? That's crazy, dog. Why is it condemnable when Candace does it?
Because she builds a whole recommendation off of how you should approach college based on her personal story. I don't.
Do you understand her argument?
Do you?
is
Oh,
not
no,
that
wait.
you absolutely
Hold on,
must
wait.
be-
Wait, I need
Wait,
acknowledgement.
you are
Can you?
not-
Jesus, why do they scream so much? Is Destiny being a dummy or is it just me? I'm not sure. Because I don't know how the grant system works, so... I don't know. I just don't know. The grant system is totally different in Poland because the education system is totally different in Poland. To start with, in Poland you have public universities which are free to begin with if you pass the exam, so I have no clue who Destiny is talking to.
moving away from the
can
claim
you
that she
acknowledge-
fucking lied
Can you
to it's just
acknowledge?
an abnormal
Can you acknowledge
situation.
that there's a reason
know
why
how
I
that
might
works
care
in
about
US.
Candace not remembering her background, but it might not be as important to me? Can you acknowledge that?
There's a reason you might possibly care about Candace's background. That's what you want me to acknowledge? Of course there's a fucking you might possibly.
Okay, can you can you acknowledge there's a good reason?
I don't know
Can
why
you
you're interrupting
acknowledge?
right now. You
Go
can
ahead. I'm
spaz
gonna
out
repeat
a
the
little
same
Gerson,
question when
it's
you're
not
done.
a little mine.
Okay.
You can repeat the same question because
My
you don't.
own editor is white. Wow. Damn. I didn't see that coming. I did not see that coming, certainly. Coming in to this stream, white. Wait, hold on, I have to... I'm watching Destiny talk to some person about grants and scholarships and Pallet loans, even though I have no clue how grants and loan systems in US education works.
Oh, Barry!
So I have a lot to add. I have a lot of transformative value to add to this whole thing. Oh my gosh. I really feel like I have deep insight to sort of, you know, as always, all that deep insight that I have to add here. You know what I mean? I feel like we should get some honey. And might seeds while we're at it. Thank you for the tier 1 subscription, fake Alec Carl Parker. Thank you. You're the bestest, the best. And I appreciate it. I appreciate you being the bestest, best.
Dodging every fucking single one of
I
mine.
haven't. I've
Even
answered
if you
almost
want to watch the
everything
VOD,
up to
you
this
see that.
point. Yeah.
Really? Almost everything? I think I've asked you the same
gonna ask
question
the same
90
question
times in
when
a
you
row,
finish
still
this
haven't
rant.
answered it yet. The question I asked you that you still haven't fucking answered is just, do you actually fucking believe you can pay for the majority? And every single time I ask that question, you dodge and say, well, you could pay for some of it. You've never said yes to that fucking question once. You've dodged every single question I've asked you so far. You can roll back the VOD, watch it yourself. But if you want to tell me that the reason why I don't understand is because I'm not fucking poor enough or something, dog, I can tell you that if you're saying you get the maximum fucking Pell Grant, you have no idea, you can't fucking remember, then Candace Owens not being able to remember this perfect fucking dollar value amount and approximating at 8K for the Pell Grant seems pretty fucking reasonable to me. Now, what's the question you thought I was going to dodge of yours?
Okay, so do you think that there's a reason why it's okay to be very critical, or why we should have a high investment in Candace's background for her education, but for somebody like my background, it's not really as important?
If you're just saying, like, should we have a higher standard for Candace's background? Of course, we could have a higher standard for Candace's background than for yours, given that she's the one bringing up an argument. But coming to you forgot something, therefore you're lying, is a wild fucking logical leap. And
My logical leap wasn't.
It applies to you too.
Okay.
You absolutely.
My logical leap.
That she was lying about being poor.
Good job.
Don't lie about that.
Yep. My logical leap of you were lying about this particular thing wasn't just built off that one thing. It was the totality of facts make it so that her story is either impossible, she's lying about a particular thing, or it's so non-representative that she should never cite her personal experience in regards to college. That was the
so
thrust.
non-representative. Did you do any research whatsoever into seeing how common these things are before you jumped to the conclusion they were unreasonable, like her getting 8K in the Pell Grant?
Yep,
Her not
I
being
sure
able to
did.
Pay for, really, you did research on this, and you came to the conclusion she could pay for most of her degree with the.
That wasn't what my. You said you read my Substack post. Hold on, wait. Did you read my Substack post?
I know that you pivoted to your Substack post, bro. Your Substack post.
Oh, so you don't want to deal with like an actual intellectual argument. You want to fixate on the one sentence
that I moved away from in the Substack article.
You want to focus on the
thing
one
that I
sentence.
actually said with my words.
Okay, wait. So here's a question. So here's a question.
You actually said
Here's a
with your
question.
words.
Here's a question.
Here's the question, but you're not going to answer.
Did I say anything? I already answered all of your things. You're asking me the most one-dimensional questions.
Now I have no idea what either of them is saying. I don't know about other states, but in New York City, FAFSA is also tied to the credits needed for your degree. I had a friend whose advisor advised her to take certain classes, and she ended up running through all her credits. And since she was left with nothing but electives, FAFSA didn't cover the tuition for the rest of her time at the college. That is so weird. I just have no clue what that. Wow. Okay. I see. I see what's happening.
I think that every single thing can be paid when you're fucking student. No, probably not every single thing.
That's
I've never
why you
said
can't
that.
answer it. A one-dimensional question
alright.
should be simple to answer, buddy.
This is good.
Why are you having trouble with a one-dimensional question? I've asked the same shit over and over.
Do you think that?
Never
Do you think
answered
that?
it.
Do you think that anything? I've already answered. What
loop.
question? Hold on. Can you say it
The one I
in
just
like
told
20
you
words or
earlier.
less? What's a question that I haven't answered?
The one that I told you earlier.
Which was what? Didn't you ask
The
me?
one
Do you think that
equals
you can
30
pay
cents.
with
Are you
all of?
listening to anything that I'm saying?
Didn't you say? Are you paying for the majority or all of your college with a Pell Grant? And I looked up the average tuition for colleges, and it seems like that seems to be the case right now. Yes.
Your answer is yes. It seems to be the case right now that you can pay for the majority or all of your college with a Pell Grant.
The majority or all of your tuition, yes, based on the level of poverty you have. Yeah.
Oh, your tuition based on the level of poverty you have. Oh, sorry. So not just if you're poor, but if you have a sufficient level of poverty to max out the Pell Grant, you specifically go to the cheapest colleges in state, completely unrelated to what Candace was doing. That's the argument you're giving me, really?
Why are you saying like, oh, you have to be a certain level of poverty for the Pell Grant? Yes, Pell Grant is based on need and based on cost of attendance. Is that surprising?
Really? Pell Grant is based on need? So in order to get the Pell Grant, you have to be sufficiently poor?
Yes.
You think so? Oh, that's crazy, dog. Do you think that Candace just didn't get a Pell Grant?
Well, initially she
At
said
all?
she didn't know how to fill out the FAFSA. She said because her parents weren't there to help her, and then she said that she actually got
She didn't say she didn't know how
$8,000.
to fill it out. She never said
She
that.
said her
You're
parents
lying
didn't help
again.
her.
Oh, this is so sad. Saying that I didn't have anybody to help me do it doesn't mean that I didn't do it.
That's what the implication was. Nobody
No,
was
it
there.
wasn't. It was not the implication. You have to be autistic to think that, because she clarified immediately afterwards that what she meant by that statement was, yes, I filled the FAFSA out. I didn't have anyone helping me, so I might have done something
She
wrong.
didn't clarify.
Uh-oh.
She realized that she fucked up and said retarded shit, and then she
Why
started
would those be
backtracking.
even remotely inconsistent? Saying those two things, I'll say it right now. Look, I had nobody to help me fill out the FAFSA. Do you think that means that that I didn't fill out the FAFSA?
Do you think
Uh-oh.
if I ask you about the FAFSA?
That's another example of you not answering my question.
No. Yes. Wait. If you restate
There
your
you go.
question.
Uh-oh.
This is so sad. Are you listening?
It's
to
not
anything the other
sad.
person's saying ever?
It's conversationally relevant. If I say, "Hey, what did you get for the FAFSA?"
shit, the
if I
question
say,
was
"Hey,
conversationally
what did you get for the FAFSA?" and your response is, "I didn't have any parents tell me to fill it out." Well, the implication is, "Oh, you didn't fill it out." But if I say, "Hey, you didn't get that much student aid from the FAFSA," and you go, "Yeah, I didn't have parents tell me to fill it out." Oh, well, the implication is they just didn't help you and you filled
No,
out in
the
a
thing that you said
suboptimal
was
way.
Not, you did. This thing that you said is not you could pay for your entire college with the FAFSA immediately. You just said the FAFSA is going to award you a ton of federal aid. Then you moved the claim to that after.
The FAFSA, you typically will get through grants and everything. You typically will get a ton of aid. By the way, subsidized loans count as aid.
What Pell Grants do you think you get from the FAFSA? Other than the
It's
Pell
not
Grants?
just Pell Grants. You also qualify for state and local aid as well.
Nobody seems to realize there's also a certain pedigree that comes through a college degree. A Harvard Law degree is gonna open a whole lot more doors than one from your local community college. I mean, I do agree with this.
With
I do
FAFSA, what
certainly
grants do
agree
you
with
get?
this.
There's the Pell Grant, and then whatever. I'm pretty sure you
you
fill
have
out the
the
FAFSA to
prestige
qualify
of
for
a
state
school.
and local aid as well. Do you not? Isn't that
What
part
kind
of your
What kind of aid are you thinking about?
like what? I don't know the names of every single state aid program. A ton of people email me random fucking state aid programs, but
I
there are
don't
going to be a
think
lot of different
filling
state
out
aid
the
programs
FAFSA
that will
gives
give you.
I don't know what the fuck kind of thing you're appealing to. Like so I filled out the FAFSA in Rhode Island. I was really, really poor when I filled it out. They didn't give me any kind of extra aid other than the Pell Grant, other than the subsidized student loans through aid too. Yeah.
Does Rhode
other than that,
Island
there was no
Rhode Island
fucking
doesn't
grant.
have any state level tuition
Do
assistance
you
grant
understand the
programs?
difference between whether or not we have those grant programs and whether or not filling out the FAFSA will give you those grants?
Okay.
Do you see the distinction?
We can go and look it up, okay? I could be wrong.
another question you haven't
I'm not
answered. Yes or
dodging
no?
you,
Do you
fucking
understand
retard.
the
Hold on,
You're
we'll look
so
it up. This is a
fucking
factual.
damn it.
Hold
You
on.
might be the
This is
dumbest
a
motherfucker
factual.
I've
This is
ever
a
had to discuss
factual.
talk
This
to
is
about
a
college.
factual.
This is-
It's a fact.
this
You're
is a
scared.
100%
You're
not
scared
having
because you
gone
know
to
you're
college.
wrong. This
I'm
is why you
scared to
overtalk
dodge
me.
my
It's because he's
question,
scared.
buddy.
I'm not dodging.
overtalking
I'm
the
literally
entire
answering your
discussion.
question. I can't get more than 2 words out
Oh,
before
do
you
it.
fucking splurg all over the fucking
By the
chat
way,
because you're so
just
excited to
repeat
talk
the
on my
question
stream.
first before you answer, just to make sure that you remember.
Sure. It sounded like you said, "Do you have to fill out the FAFSA to
Why-
qualify for other aids or grants
No,
besides
the
the Pell
question
Grant?"
was, do you you don't even remember the question. Are you answering it?
I
The
can't. I
question
don't
was,
remember
do
the question because
understand
you're
the
screaming at me every time I
distinction?
try to answer a question.
I'm screaming at you. You're the one screaming right now.
Jesus.
So I'm telling you, right? I'm asking you, do you understand the distinction between filling out the FAFSA will give you the state grants and saying the state grants exist? Do you understand the distinction? Yes or no? It's not a complicated
Yes,
question.
of course
retard.
there's a distinction. You might not qualify for any
Perfect. When you
grants.
bring up one to support the other, you're not really doing that, are you?
How am I bringing? What I'm saying is that if you fill out a FAFSA and you are a student in need, not only do you qualify for Pell Grants, because your implication was a Pell Grant is the only grant you'll get from filling it out, there's also state and local grants you can qualify for as well.
By filling out the FAFSA, do you think you're getting any of those?
I don't know if you'll get them or not. It depends on your financial need and the cost of attendance of the school you go to.
Do you think if you're fucking dirt poor, say you're completely fucking emancipated, you have $0 in terms of income and you register, you fill out the
You're
FAFSA and you're
swaying
in
so
Rhode
hard,
Island.
your thing is cutting
Do you
out.
think what'll
Repeat that.
happen
Wait,
then
you
is
got to
you'll
restate
get a
that. Your
grant
thing
on the
cut
Pell
out.
Grant?
I know you're so excited to talk
I don't
over
think it was
me.
me, so that's my audio.
Okay, restate
That's
what you
my
just said
audio
because it
because
cut
that's
out
a
at 3 different
network
points.
issue, but
Go
calm
ahead.
down. Yeah, I understand. You already said that on my end. You're freaking out.
Oh,
The
he's
audio's
lagging,
cutting
I
out,
think.
understand.
Okay.
I'm telling you that. Can you hear me now? Test.
Yep.
Can you hear me now? Perfect. So I'm asking you, right, in regards to the FAFSA thing, right, I want to understand, do you think right now, in Rhode Island, right, if I have $0 totally emancipated and I fill out the
$0.
FAFSA, that I will get a single state grant by doing that?
If you're dirt poor,
When I filled out the FAFSA, I was dirt poor. I had zero reportable income.
my understanding is yes.
You're wrong. I filled out in Rhode Island. I can show you the goddamn paper.
Wait, you said you had zero reportable income.
Island.
Your reportable income doesn't matter. It'd be the reportable income of your parents.
No, you idiot. When you're emancipated or when you're like not, when you're separate from your parents, if you're married, you would be. If it's the case that you're
Oh,
above the age
okay.
of
I'm sorry.
fucking-
If you're emancipated, correct. It would just go by your income. You had zero income and you didn't qualify for any state grants at all?
Did I qualify for state grants? Like, you keep forgetting what we're talking about. I'm telling you, the FAFSA doesn't give me any. The FAFSA doesn't do that.
Yeah, because it's just an application. Just like a job application doesn't get you a job.
For
I don't understand what you're saying.
What do you think it's the application for?
It's for aid. What do you mean?
For aid from who?
It stands for, I think it stands for Financial Application for Federal Student Aid.
So it's federal aid, right?
No.
You're retarded.
You
What?
didn't fill it out because you're a poser. You're
Do
such
you
a
want me to
fucking
show
retard.
you? I'll go to my studentaid.gov.
good.
Do you think I'm a lying
That is
poser
a
to-
good way too, Paul.
Okay. Do you have any-
You're the only real poor person ever,
there
Destiny.
any-
Look, I'll just fucking
You can
I'll give you a
switch,
shot.
yeah.
I'll show you, buddy.
No, I don't need to see it. You're either lying or you're retarded. Most states
You are
that I've
genuinely
seen, I
retarded.
did because I literally
You are-
did a whole
this is so
fucking write-up and I
sad.
spent days doing
Every
this.
single-
Most
Oh, go
states,
ahead.
okay. Most states, or every state that I've seen, if you want to qualify for any aid in state, and I think sometimes even go to university, you have to fill out your FAFSA first. Even though it's the federal application even though it's a federal application, you still have to fill out your FAFSA to qualify for state aid as well.
You retard. That's for qualifying, you brain damaged fucking monkey.
Yeah,
That's
what do you
not
think we're
that's not-
talking about? That's what an application
We're
is for,
talking about it
qualifying.
giving you federal. We're talking about that fucking.
Okay, this is dumb. We're good. Okay, fun times. What did we actually say here? I'm curious.
What are you talking about?
If you go to school and your family has a low gross income, you fill out the FAFSA, and the FAFSA is going to award you a ton of federal aid, assuming that you don't actually have the gross income from your parents to actually go to school. So if your parents are super poor, I don't know why you had to pay full out-of-state tuition to go to full out-of-state tuition. So he didn't even listen to the words that I said. Okay. What
I
university?
did. Do you think? What do you mean? Did I lie?
I don't know how if
I
your
think
parents are
that's
poor,
so-
if they have a low
Listen,
gross income,
here-
how do you not qualify for the FAFSA?
Okay, well, all I can say to you is that I had to pay 35 almost. My school cost more, and by the end of it, and I'm also including because then I defaulted on my student loans and I had to pay it back. So now I had to pay back the bank for not being able to pay them on time.
Something doesn't match up here.
Okay,
Yeah, I don't
What's
think I.
mad
yeah.
about some person telling him that
He
was
literally
wrong
wanted to
about
hyperfix it on one sentence
school loans
and ignore the
school
entire
grants.
conversation surrounding it. Somebody linked this for Rhode Island. Before applying for any state-supported financial aid for college, students need to fill out and submit their free application for federal student aid.
And I
So if-
can't even comment because I have no idea how these things work in the US. So I'm in the dark. I'm alone in the dark.
he goes to Rhode Island, school in Rhode Island, he lives there, and he went to this university, then he would have had to fill out this for qualifying for any state aid. My understanding is this is how it works in every single state. Now, it could be that in some states it doesn't work that way. That's possible. I don't know. I can't claim to know every single state. I think in Nebraska this was the case, and from what I've heard, this tends to be the case. But yes, when you, even for qualifying for state aid, I think the FAFSA is usually what unlocks, because a lot of other people use your results from the FAFSA, I think, to determine your eligibility for aid. The FAFSA is used by both federal and state governments to determine a student's eligibility for any financial aid for college.
Don't worry,
But this
we
would be,
got you.
now I don't know if that guy's rich or not, but this would be like a poverty poser thing to say, oh, FAFSA, that stands for Federal Application for Student Aid, which it does, which is like the trap you're trying to get me in. I know what it stands for, but just because it's the Federal Application for Student Aid doesn't mean nobody else uses it, right? I know that because at UNO, when I tried to apply for aid, you had to fill out a FAFSA before you went for any state or aid or grants as well. Yeah, obviously, unless that's changed since then, but it doesn't look like it has.
Okay. Destin used to be a poor boy.
Everyone has to complete the FAFSA just to enroll in class. It's a prerequisite for going to school. Okay.
Really? Everyone needs to fill it out now?
You've got to stop second guessing yourself. When you talk, you're very careful with your words, and I've never seen you getting gotcha in clips. That is true. One thing I need to do, I need to trust myself more, because like, I'll say that I
Even
complain about
more.
overqualifying so much, but then I'll have somebody come and misquote me, and I'll just assume that I spoke poorly. But I'm usually trying to qualify everything I say pretty carefully. So I should just say before we begin on a conversation, let's watch the clip you're talking about. Yeah.
Damn.
Destiny, was he not trying to say that filling out the FAFSA didn't automatically net you student aid? Yeah, but I mean, that's true, but what a weird pedantic, that's like saying like, I got this job yesterday because I filled out this job application and I got hired. And like, filling out the application didn't get you hired. Well, no, it's just an application to get hired, of course.
Damn. Destiny should believe in himself more. He feels like such an insecure boy
Jesus.
to me.
Okay.
Destiny's such an insecure
In some states
boy.
it does, though. In some states, what does?
Believe in yourself, Destiny. You clearly don't.
If Destiny is playing the clip,
That's
when Candace
funny.
says she didn't get help filling out the form, she was 100% implying she didn't do it. Yeah, I know she was. Yeah.
Well, I'm back the bank for not being able to pay them on time.
Something doesn't match up here.
Okay, well, I'm telling you the truth, so I don't know what to say.
Did you fill out a FAFSA?
Yeah, well, I also didn't have parents that could help me fill it out. I was a first-generation college student. My dad...
You didn't have the same school counselor you told these people to ignore? You didn't talk to one of them and say, hey, can you
I
help me
don't
fill
know,
out?
like, if you're trying to shame me for not
I'm
doing
not trying
things
to
right,
shame you. I'm
but,
just saying the background doesn't make any sense. I'm not shaming anything.
I'm just like, I don't get your point here. Like, I'm telling you the truth. I have no reason to lie about
My
this.
point is you complain
asked
about
No,
how-
I actually do think that she said here that she might have done it incorrectly because she didn't have any help. I don't think she said she didn't fill it out. I think she said, because the next sentence is, you're going to shame me for doing things incorrectly, which implies that she said, I might have not done it correctly because I didn't have people to help me fill it out correctly because I was a first generation college student. I think that's basically what is being said, you know? That is my read. That is my read of what was being said there. This is my personal read. If you don't complete the FAFSA, you will not get aid. What an amazing freeze frame that is. What is this? Wow. Are you seeing this? Are you seeing this pause? This amazing pause? Destiny's, I don't know. I don't know what this pose means, but it's glorious. This pose is just glorious.
Are you lying
$100,000
about
in
being
debt. You told these
poor?
people not to talk to counselors. And you said that your family was
because I
poor, so you went to
lived
school for
it. I'm
journalism on
telling
an
you.
out-of-state tuition. You didn't fill out a FAFSA for any student aid. There's a
I'm
ton of money there.
just saying, like, what is your point in saying, am I lying about it? Like,
Because
what is,
I don't
like,
understand how you came from a poor family and didn't fill out a FAFSA and get a ton of student aid.
I did fill out FAFSA.
And they didn't give you anything?
I maybe got, in terms of I remember getting a Pell Grant that was like $8,000.
A Pell Grant that was $8,000? Technically, that's impossible. If I'm going to be autistic about our words, a Pell Grant, you couldn't get a single one back then for $8,000. It doesn't make any sense. Also, I don't even know how she could fill this out without having her parents or grandparents help her, technically, because most of the FAFSA is your parents or whoever is your guardian, their income. So you have to have somebody help you figure it out. Nothing that she's saying makes sense. Okay. Per
But
year?
I'm telling the truth. So I just want to be clear. I'm telling the truth about my life.
Nah, she 100% lied.
Will you be covering
And all
Candace
the
Owens'
digging afterwards,
anti-Semitic
1,000,000% she lied
I
about
think
it.
so.
Oh, and then somebody else also linked me this. The only state grants for families in Rhode Island and is the Rhode Island State Grant. To apply for
Do you
this,
mean her getting fired by Ben Shapiro because of her anti-Semitism? Do you mean that thing? As a Jewish person, I probably should. It is my duty to cover anti-Semitism as a Jewish person, isn't it? I'd also want to sort of cover the Russian terrorist attack. And by that I mean the terrorist attack on Russia, not done by Russia. Even though Russia technically speaking, does terrorist acts every single day of the week when bombing Ukraine.
Scholarship, simply fill out a FAFSA and list Rhode Island as a state of residence. So even in Rhode Island, the state that he's from, yes, you fill out the FAFSA first for your state aid. Like, she never said no to the FAFSA question, just FYI. She says yes the first time, just as no, bullshit. She's waffling so hard. You guys are lying. You guys are so retarded. She is waffling on this question, and it's obvious if you look at her background. She lies a fuck ton about her background for school. This bitch says she got $150,000 in student aid, or I'm sorry, she says $150,000 in unsecured private loans and paid them back in 4 years after dropping out of school. Bullshit. No, this is the biggest waffle in the world. And also, how do you go back and forth? I had $100,000 in debt or $150,000 in debt. How do you go back and forth on these random numbers? No shot. No shot. 1 billion %. This is all a fucking lie.